Hi, hi. Welcome back to our English first additional language lessons done by Miss Lichuti. Thank you once more for your positive reviews regarding my previous videos. Be on the lookout for more content. I'm starting to craft new ways to include other concepts of paper one, but I want to do a revision on visual literacy. In the last segment, I did a cartoon. Now I'm going to do an advertisement with you guys. If you can look at my previous uploads, I did an upload where I explained concepts pertaining to advertisement, but however, I'm going to revise them again as in when I interpreted this advert. There are key concepts that are related to the language, if not the jargon, pertaining to advert. And once you do not understand that jargon, you don't stand a chance to interpret an advert. It is important to understand the jargon, if not the language that is used to interpret and understand an advertisement. I'm going to start with the languages that are used in adverts. We've got two forms of languages. The first one being emotive language, the second one being persuasive language. But before I go into details regarding the two forms of languages, remember that the sole purpose of an advert is to persuade the reader. So an advert is actually business because it's there to drive a certain product or a certain service home to the target audience so that people can come and purchase or people can use the services or buy the product that is being advertised. So what do we mean by emotive language? Any language that is connected to your emotions. For example, if I say buy this, it will make you feel good. By using the word feel, I'm connecting the message to your emotions. That becomes emotive language. But if I say buy this is the best in the world, I'm persuading you to believe that this indeed is the best in the world. So that is persuasive language. So when you study the message of an advert, you should be in a position to establish, or if not determine, as to whether the advert has used emotive language or the advert has used what you call persuasive language. Everything that is being advertised has its own unique specific market. So therefore, you cannot fall into the trap of saying everyone is a target market for a certain product. I'm repeating, everything that is being advertised, be it is a service or a certain product, has its own target market. You can determine a target market by gender. You can determine a target market by age. You can determine a target market by defining the specific group of people. For example, if I'm advertising lunch bar, I cannot say kids, I cannot say adults, because there are adults who eat lunch bar, which is a chocolate. There are kids who eat lunch bar, which is a chocolate. So therefore, I can say somebody with a sweet tooth or people who like sweet things. So do not ever say everyone whenever you are asked to determine the target audience in the advert. Always check what is being advertised, one. Check also what the advertiser is saying about that certain product so that you can understand and you stand a better chance now to come up with the correct target audience, right? You must also differentiate between a brand and a logo. There's a difference between a brand and a logo. BMW is a brand, right? The small symbol or drawing, it will signify the logo. It represents the brand. The drawing represents what? The brand. For example, Nike, we have that tick that is a logo, it's a symbol or drawing that represents what? A brand. It is also important to differentiate between a product and a brand. BMW is not a product, is a brand, but BMW X6 becomes your product. So whenever you are asked to outline what is being advertised, don't fall into the trap of only mentioning the brand and leave out the product, because what we are interested in is actually the product. Another example that I can make is that Samsung is a brand. It's not a product, but Samsung S7 becomes what? Your product. So when you look at an advert, establish what is being advertised, which would definitely become your product, and then maybe check also what is the brand. Whenever you see an image in an advert, ask yourself this question: how does this image serve a purpose? in the advert. An image that is used in an advert must go hand in glove with the message of an advert. So in a nutshell, the picture that is being used in an advert must help to drive the message home. That means there must be that relationship between the picture that is being used and the message of the advert. When words are bolded in an advert, 1 is to emphasize the message, 2 is to attract or grab the reader's attention. Certain words will be bolded, certain words will be smaller. Like for example, let us check the adverts that I have here today with me. The secret to a cleaner, fresh home. These words are bolded compared to the entire message, which is quite smaller font compared to this one. So whenever you see a message that is quite bigger or bolded than the rest of the message, know that that part that is bolded is there to grab the reader's attention as well as to emphasize that message. However, don't answer by saying to emphasize the message. State what is being emphasized. In a Red Bull advert, they say Red Bull gives you wings. So let us say, for an example, they've bolded Red Bull, then they've bolded gives you wings. And the question is, why are the words bolded? The words are bolded, 1, to grab the reader's attention, also to emphasize that Red Bull gives you wings, which is a metaphor to show that Red Bull can give you what? Energy. So you state what is being emphasized. You don't just say to emphasize and then you leave it like that. This will be a loose answer that is not nicely rounded off. So you need to round it off by stating what is being emphasized. And you state what the message, perhaps you paraphrase the message in your own words, and then you state what is being emphasized. So I've talked about the target audience. I've talked about logo. Now I'm going to talk about the slogan. A slogan will be a short phrase that is used to sell the product. For example, MTN, they say everywhere you go, which means that wherever you are, you'll be able to access MTN network. KFC, they say a finger linking good. It means that you cannot lick your fingers after eating if the food was not palatable or delicious. So a slogan it's a cashing phrase that is used to drive the product or to sell the product. In other instances, you have features like your Facebook logo, like in this advert, your Twitter logo, as well as the website address of the company that sells this product. The purpose of including such information is for you as the viewer or the reader or the customer to make it easy for you to access the company pertaining to any additional information that you may need regarding the product. So whenever you see such information being included in an advert, know that the purpose of doing that is to ensure that the readers have easy access to the company to know more, if maybe they want to ask questions pertaining maybe prices or the product itself. That means whatever, similar to what I said when we were doing cartoons, I said you study everything that is in a cartoon. Now we apply the same skills here. You study everything that is in an advert. Now let us go through the advert together. They say the secret to a cleaner home. We go to the message first. From floors to counters and stoves to showers, you can rely on the new Plush Supreme All-Purpose Cream to remove dirt and grime and leave all your surfaces sparkling clean again. And then they say Plush Supreme. Then we've got the website address, Facebook logo, as well as their Twitter page. And then after reading the message now, we go to the image that is being used. Remember, visual literacy, we write what we see and we rely on descriptive words to describe what is that we see. When I look at this image, I see a very clean kitchen in the background and dishes and that are cleaned and well packed. I also see a picture of a lady with a finger put on her mouth. I also see a bottle of Plush Supreme. However, there are different fragrances. We have the lavender one, or fragrances or scents. We've got potpourri, we've got spring, we've got what? We've got lemon. Ne? Right. Now, remember what I said about the two forms of languages that I used to interpret to understand the message of an advert. I'm going to go to the message again and establish whether did the advertiser use an emotive language or did the advertiser use a persuasive language. After doing that, I'm going to look at the image against the message and check whether there's a relationship between the message and the image. Remember, I said there must be an established correlation between the two. Right, the secret to a cleaner, fresher home. From floors to counters and stove to showers, you can rely on the new Splash Supreme All-Purpose Cream to remove dirt and grime and leave all your surfaces sparkling clean again. There's nothing that connects to emotions, so therefore it's persuasive. It's persuasive in a sense that it shows that it can clean everything from floors to stoves to also showers. And what is also important is that I will leave my home or my surface looking what? Not only clean, but sparkling clean. So by stating not only clean, but sparkling clean, it becomes what? Persuasive, to show that this product actually can do the work. Okay, now we go to the message versus the image. Let us go to the image. I said before I discussed the lady's appearance, I talked about the background. Also, I see a very clean, neat kitchen, right? And then the message that is bolded is that the secret to a fresher home, pardon me, the secret to a fresher home. Now, the picture does support the message because one, I see an exquisitely clean kitchen, and then we have an interesting word here where it says what? The secret. And when I look at the lady, she has put a finger on her mouth, which is a sign to say what? Keep what? A secret. So there is a relationship between the image and the message. Now, if you can do exactly what I've just done, you will see that when you come to the questions, it will be a smooth sailing boat for you. It will just be a walk on a park for you, because ultimately, by doing justice to the analysis part of the visual literacy, ultimately you know that already you have the answers to the questions. Now let us go, without any waste of time, let us go to the questions. The first question, who is the target audience in this advertisement? Remember what I said about the target audience. You cannot say everyone. It depends on the product that is being advertised, and it depends again on what the advertiser says about the product. So here we have a product which is Splash Supreme that promises to clean everything, and it will leave your house looking sparkling and very clean. So I would say the target audience will be cleaners or homeowners, right? Homeowners, because of the image that is used there. It's of a home, all right? However, others can say women by virtue of the fact that we have a woman in this image is also correct. We can say women, we can say cleaners, we can also say homeowners, but the most appropriate answer, it will be homeowners as well as women, all right? So you see how I managed to come up with the target audience. I assessed first what is being advertised, and I also checked what the advertiser says about the product, which puts me ultimately in a better position to do what? To give out the correct target market. Right, let us go to the second question. Why has the advertiser included 4 bottles of Splash Supreme Cream? Now, not only do we have 1 bottle, but we have 4. What is the difference between them? The difference between them is that it shows that the product comes in different scents or different fragrances. Hence, you see that the fragrances are being labeled out. So it's the same product in different fragrances or different scents. So how do I know it's different fragrances or different scents? I've read the labels lavender, potpourri, spring, and lemon. You see, it is important to always check everything that is drawn in an advert. So the advertiser has included 4 bottles because simply to show that the product comes in 4 scents or 4 fragrances. Okay. Now, question 3.3. How is the word supreme intended to influence the reader? Question interpretation. How is the word supreme intended to influence the reader? Remember, I said the sole purpose of an advert is to persuade you as a reader. So therefore, the writer will use different writing or word techniques to grab your attention. Now, for you to answer this question, you should be in a position to understand the word supreme. If you say somebody is supreme, it means what? Supreme means the best. It is associated when something is a supreme, it's of good quality. So what do you do then? You take the very same word, you explain it, or you come up with a synonym to show that you understand what the word means, and then therefore you further expatiate your answer by telling us how are you going to be influenced by this product by virtue of using the word supreme. Let me just deviate just for a second from this advert. There was this other advert where the writer said, how are the words love your heart meant to influence the reader? It was a product that was being advertised, and one of the key sentences or messages was that if you buy that product, it means that you love your heart. And then the examiner asked, how are the words love your heart meant to influence you as the reader? One, you would state the form of language, whether is it persuasive or emotive, but you don't just leave it like that. Remember, I said in grade 12, you should be in a position to round off your answers. You know, don't leave them loosely hanging without further expatiating your answers and substantiating it fully, right? Now, one would say the words love your heart are emotive. That shows that if one purchases the product, will be taking care of their heart. Therefore, it will influence the reader to buy the product as they'll be loving their hearts. You see what I've done? I've just paraphrased the very same message from the advert. Similar now to this one, let us get back to the advert that we've just been doing. If you can just understand the word supreme, to say supreme, it means that the best or of good quality, therefore, or of good standing, or of higher power. So therefore, it shows that this product is the best or of higher power or of good quality. It will therefore is persuasive language. Therefore, it will easily influence the reader to do what? To purchase the product. So you simply paraphrase the line or the word, and then you explain or identify whether is it emotive or persuasive. And you don't just say emotive or persuasive and leave it like that. You expatiate it to say it is persuasive by showing that the product is of good quality or of higher rank. When you say something is supreme, you can say also of higher rank. Therefore, it will be easier for the customer to be what? To be influenced. All right, I think I've done justice to this question. Now, question 3.4, how does the advertiser reinforce the idea that Plush Supreme is an all-purpose cleaner? How do we know that it's an all-purpose cleaner? I think we must go to the message. The message says that it can clean from what? From counters to stoves to showers. So not only is it directed or meant for one, maybe one room or one object or one utensil, but it can clean a variety of things, from starting from counters to stove and showers. So by having that in the message, certify, if not validate, that it's an all-purpose cleaner. So your answer will be, the advert states that it can clean from floors to counters and stoves to showers. That shows that it can clean a variety, if not a number of things. Right. Now we go to another question. Quote a single word from the body copy, which means the same as glittering. Now, what do we mean by a body copy? You must understand first what is a body copy. A body copy is an extended message from the advert, from the product. That means that this is our body copy. This means that this message is somewhere in the bottle, but of course you won't be able to read it from the bottle. It will be smaller. So if the advertiser has now expatiated what is in the container or the bottle of the product, expatiated for reading purposes, we call that a body copy in an advert. And then that adhere to questions. They say you must quote the examiner is looking for only a single word, and single means one. So I do not quote more than one. Do not quote a sentence. And then whenever you are asked to quote, please include quotation marks, because these are not your own words. You're quoting verbatim from what is stipulated in an advert. So the same word as, let us go back to the question again. The same word as glittering. If it's not glittering, can say it is sparkling, synonym. Words that mean the same, but they are written differently. So I would say close quotation sparkling, open quotation sparkling, and then close quotation. Only one word. You must adhere to what the examiner wants. Now, question 3.6. How can the reader get more information about the advertised product? State 2 points. Remember what I've said earlier on. I said other adverts will include telephone numbers, website address, and so forth for the reader to get more information. So once, can you see that by analyzing them in the manner that which I've analyzed initially when I started this segment, already I've got the answers. So the examiner is looking for 2 ways in which you can get more information. One, you can contact them through www.plush.co.za, which is a website address, or the second one, you can also contact them through social media, through their Facebook page as well as their Twitter page. So it is there. Now, open-ended questions. The last question in an advert. In your view, is the visual of the lady effective in conveying the message of the advertisement? The key word again here is to what? Substantiate. So whenever the examiner asks you to substantiate, it means that use the information from the advert to do what? To construct a well beefed up response. Remember, this is 2 marks. So your reason must be sufficient enough so that you score 2 marks. And where are you going to get your response? How are you going to construct your response? Your response, you go back to the message. What is the advertiser saying about the product? But now this question is unique. It wants you to show us the relationship between the image and the message, which is what I've said earlier on. I said in every advert, whenever you come across a picture, of which all the adverts will have a picture, and the message, you read the message against the picture. After reading the message, ask yourself, does the message help to support the message? And then in this question, all you have to do is to give us the relationship between the message and the image of the lady. Let us go back. The secret to a cleaner home. When I look at the lady, this is your answer. The message, the image of the lady support the message of the advert that which stated the secret to a cleaner home. Why do I say that? The lady has put her finger on her mouth, which is a sign that shows what? Secret to a cleaner home. She's also standing behind a clean kitchen. Where did I get all the responses to answer this advert? I got all my responses from the very same advert. What do I need? To study what is being advertised, which is your product, the brand, to also study the image, what kind of image is used, to also establish whether the writer has used an emotive language, which is any language that is connected to your emotions, or persuasive language, any language that is made exaggerated to make you believe or to convince you to believe with what the advertiser is saying about the product. The target market is a specific group of people who will go and buy the product. How are you going to be in a position to determine a correct target market? You check what the advertiser is saying about the product as well as what the product that is being advertised. You study all the features of an advert, such as telephone numbers that are included, website addresses. And in other instances, you will have a cartoon, or an advert that includes the number of years of the brand. For example, what if this brand says we have been here for 125 years? What is the purpose of including the number of years? Is to show that the brand, one, is trusted or well established, as well as is a reputable brand. Now, in a nutshell, in summary, what you need to understand and know is the jargon pertaining to adverts. Your slogan, your logo, your words and font size. Why will certain words be written in a larger font? Is to emphasize the message and as well as to grab the reader's attention, to show the relationship between the image that is being used as well as the message. And then when you get to the last question, which is the open-ended question, you use what the advertiser said about the product to do what? To substantiate your answer. Remember, the key word in that question is what? Is to substantiate. And whenever you are asked about a certain phrase or word, as to how that word is going to convince or influence the reader, you simply determine whether is it emotive or persuasive, and immediately after doing that, you expatiate that by paraphrasing the sentence or paraphrasing the phrase, so that you show that this phrase is uniquely crafted to grab the reader's attention. Thank you once more. As usual, I know that this lesson will be fruitful to you. Look out for more uploads